Welcome to the Clemson Insiders Monday Blitz. I'm Ashley Hodge alongside senior writer Will Vandervoort for the Clemson Insider. And today we got a chance to talk to Sean Pollard, Tony Elliott, and a lot of other players about this weekend and then the season overall. They came into today after a huge win against Virginia Tech. Everyone was expecting it to be a very, very close game, coming down to special teams. It was under the lights, 8 o'clock, college game day, so a huge atmosphere for them. They're used to that. They played on the road against Louisville in the same exact environment. But most of the topic today wasn't really about that win. It was about Kelly Bryant and just how his overall demeanor has stayed the same throughout the season. So what did you hear from Sean Pollard and Tony Elliott about that?
Well, it was, first of all, Virginia Tech, the atmosphere was unbelievable. It was a great environment for college football. Everything you guys saw on TV, amplify it by 100. I mean, it really was an electric atmosphere. And so you wonder, how we all knew what Deshaun Watson can do in those environments. We saw him. He played in the national championship game 2 years in a row. We saw the big games in Florida State. Nothing ever bothered him, fazed by everything. So how's Kelly Bryant going to do it? He passed the first test at Louisville, which was okay, but, Louisville's a basketball school, so it is what it is. Those guys weren't into it like at Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech, everything rivals Clemson. I put them today in a thread. I said they're the number 2 best atmosphere and game day atmosphere in the ACC next to Clemson. They're better than Florida State, and so I was really, interested to see, okay, how's he going to look? And, man, he goes out there and he's just pregame. He's dancing around. He's doing what Kelly does, got the big smile on his face. Seems like he's okay. Well, now let's see how he does when the game starts. When the game starts, and he's just unflappable. He's just calm. He goes right down the field, leads them right, just like he did at Louisville, leads them right down the field for a score right off the bat. Second time he gets the ball, he goes through his progressions, probably the best I've seen him go through his progressions at any point. Checks down to the third guy and throws a 60-yard touchdown pass to Tavian Feaster. And it's like game on, and then the rest of the game, he was just – and the thing that Tony Elliott said was, to me, this is after the game, not really today, but was, when he came out there and Bud Foster was throwing these blitzes at him on that first drive, and he says every drive he made the right decision on every play. And he says that goes to preparation and stuff like that. And so, Sean Pollard talked about how he gets in the huddle. He's like goofy and loose and relaxed, and they like that, because that helps them relax. And then, and Tony O says, I didn't know, we kind of had an idea what he would be like, but until we actually see it when the lights come on. And so it says they were kind of like wondering, all right, let's see if he's that guy. And he says through 2 tough road games, probably the toughest 2 he'll have all year, he showed no problems with it. And, I give him an A. I gave him an A the other day. And the thing is, people look at statistics. Everybody's like, well, he only threw for 186 yards. Sorry, I didn't mean to do the impression, but that's how people do. But, he only threw for 186 yards. How can you be impressed? It's the way he managed the game. It's the way, it's like a point guard in basketball. You have those moments where, the point guard maybe not scoring 25 points, but he's just controlling the game. That's what Kelly Bryant did. He controlled the game. He didn't have to put up the gaudy numbers. He just controlled the game and didn't make any mistakes. So it was very impressive.
Well, Kelly Bryant has been leading this offense, the 2017 offense, for the first time. A lot of new starters on the team, and people have been comparing this offense to 2016 last year, and just how they haven't really stopped the momentum. But Tony Elliott said it's more like the 2015 season, because the 2016 season, they had 2 years under their belt. They knew how to play together. So what did you think about that?
Yeah, when he said it was exactly what I was been thinking the last couple of weeks, because they are new. There is a lot of new faces on this offense. You got a new running back in Tavian Feaster, and he's doing well. People are forgetting about that. He's doing well right now. You got a couple new guys on the offensive line, and Sean Pollard and Justin Fasinelli and Tremaine Ankrum. You got definitely new guys starting at wide receiver, even though they've been here for a couple of years. But Deion Kane and Ray McLeod haven't been starters. So they're really kind of getting used to having to play 60, 70 snaps when they were used to playing maybe 20 before. So all those things, and then you got to play with the other guys. And now you have a new quarterback add to it. So, it's very similar. And, people forget how that 2015 team, to me, was, even though last year's team was close, don't get me wrong, but that 2015 team seemed closer in a lot of ways to me, because nobody believed in them, nobody saw it coming, and they just kind of did their thing, took care of their business. That's what this team reminds me of so far, especially on the offensive side. They're not flashy, they're not putting up all these points and throwing 60-yard touchdown passes and scoring 50 points a game, but they're just they're workmanlike. They just go out there and do it, and that's what impresses me about them. So yeah, I see the comparison, and when he said it, I said, yeah, that's what I've been thinking too.
Right. Well, there's a lot of new players, a lot of new starters, and there's also a lot of new things to get used to, especially for Kelly Bryant, being the center of attention on Clemson's campus. People are taking pictures of him, pictures with him, so just high-fiving him all the time, talking about, what he should have done, trying to coach him from the classroom. So what did he say about this? What did he think?
Well, he was. It was funny because he says he says he's going out of class the other day, and some girl just takes a picture, and he hears the picture, and he's like, so he was asked, did you mind that they took the picture? He's like, no, the taking the picture didn't mind. He said, at least could have let me know, then I'll turn around and smiled for him,
right.
And that's the goofiness of Kelly, and then he's like, he said on the bus today on the way over, a young lady asked could he take a selfie picture with her, and so he obliged and did that. He said, so that's kind of new to him. He's kind of, he was used to watching Deshaun get all that attention before and all that, and now he's the guy. He's the man on campus, and so, people forget about that these are kids. People just see the helmet and they see the Paul and they see number 2 on his jersey and they think, oh, it's Kelly Bryant, but he's a human being. He's a kid, and it's the first time he's ever experienced stuff like this, and so it's that's something that's got to be, you got to kind of take it, and I like his attitude. He just smiles about it and just goes on, and Deshaun was real good about that too. Deshaun would sit there. I saw Deshaun after graduation sit there for like an hour and a half taking selfies with all his classmates, and though that probably didn't mean as much to Deshaun, that'll mean everything to them,
right.
That he took that time to do that. And so the same thing with Kelly did. I think he's got that, so he obliged the young lady and took the selfie with her.
Right. Well, I'm sure there will be more pictures to come the rest of the season, especially after last week. But stay tuned to the Clemson Insider the rest of the week as we cover all things leading up to the Wake Forest game at noon on Saturday.